Confidence. We all want more of it, right? But sometimes it feels so fragile, like it can just disappear. But what if it's not some big dramatic event that makes it vanish? What if it's actually being chipped away, little, by tiny habits we don't even realize we're doing? Yeah, let's get into that.
You know that feeling, right, where you really want to do something, to move forward, but it feels like you're stuck, like you're fighting against yourself? Well, that right there is often the work of self-sabotage, a bunch of quiet little habits that mess with our self-belief without us even knowing it.
And this is probably the single most important idea we're going to talk about today. Confidence isn't some magic thing you're either born with or you're not. Think of it like a muscle. It's a skill, and just like any skill, if you stop practicing it, you get a little rusty. But the great news, you can always start practicing again.
So, let's start by putting a name to these things. We'll call them the quiet killers. These are the sneaky ways our own thoughts and actions are secretly working against us, building this foundation of self-doubt over time. First up, we've got to talk about that voice inside our heads. You know the one. That inner critic is usually the main culprit, and trust me, it has a very specific playbook it uses to tear down our confidence from the inside out. I mean, really think about it for a second. When your friend messes up, you're supportive, you're kind. But when you make a mistake, what does that inner voice say? For so many of us, it's just brutal. Saying stuff like, "Ugh, I'm so stupid," or "I can never get anything right." Those aren't just harmless thoughts. You're literally training your brain to believe that stuff.
And here's what's really wild, the sheer amount of it. Research suggests that a mind-boggling 80% of our thoughts every single day can be negative. Let that sink in. If 8 out of every 10 things you tell yourself are critical, well, is it any wonder that your confidence takes a nosedive? It's a total self-fulfilling prophecy.
So, what are the critic's go-to moves? Well, it loves to focus only on the bad stuff. It's constantly comparing you to some version of your past self. And this one is super sneaky. It makes you apologize for everything, for just taking up space. Let's zero in on that last one for a second. This is such a powerful little switch you can make. Instead of saying sorry, which kind of puts you in a one-down position, you express gratitude. It's a tiny change in words, but it totally flips the script. It gives you back your power and self-respect in that moment.
Okay, let's talk about the inner critic's absolute favorite weapon, perfectionism. A lot of us wear it like it's a badge of honor, right? But the truth is, this kind of perfectionism isn't about doing great work. It's really about being terrified of failure, and it's almost always rooted in a feeling of shame.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? That's the perfectionist brain. You could be standing in a field of your own accomplishments, just beautiful successes everywhere, but your eyes are scanning for the one tiny flaw, the one weed. You can't even enjoy the 99 things that went right because you're obsessed with the one that wasn't perfect. And this isn't just a mindset thing. It has real-world consequences. That fear of not being perfect, it leads to procrastination. You're too scared to even start. It makes you waste hours on tiny details that honestly don't matter. And it makes you super defensive because any feedback feels like a personal attack on your worth.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. We've talked about habits of thought. Now let's talk about habits of inaction. Because sometimes the biggest threat to our confidence isn't what we're doing. It's what we're consistently choosing not to do. Welcome to the comfort trap.
This is one of those hard truths, but it is so important. Routine feels safe. It feels comfortable. But a life that's too comfortable, a life without any challenges, that's a life without any growth. Confidence isn't built where it's safe. It's forged when we step just outside that zone and prove to ourselves, hey, I can handle this.
So what does this trap actually look like? Well, it's saying no to new experiences because you're afraid you might look foolish. It's when your daily routine becomes so rigid that it starts to feel gray. And a big one? It's when you start letting other people make all your decisions, slowly but surely losing trust in your own gut.
All right, we've laid out the problems, we've looked at the inner critic, at perfectionism, the comfort trap. So, what's the fix? What's the antidote to all this? Well, it boils down to one incredibly powerful practice, self-compassion. Just look at these two. On one side, you've got that harsh, angry inner critic. And on the other, you've got a kind, supportive inner friend. Now, when you stumble, when you make a mistake, which one usually shows up?
The entire journey back to confidence starts by consciously choosing that second voice.
So what even is self-compassion? Well, researcher Dr. Kristen Neff breaks it down into 3 really simple parts. First, self-kindness. That just means being gentle with yourself instead of beating yourself up. Second, common humanity. This is about remembering that everyone messes up. Failure is part of being human. You're not alone in this. And third, mindfulness. Just noticing your negative feelings without judging them or letting them take over.
Now, a lot of people resist this idea because there's some big myths around it. People think it's selfish, but actually, it fills your own cup so you have more to give others. They think it's just being lazy or letting yourself off the hook, but it's the opposite. It's about learning from mistakes without all that paralyzing shame. And the biggest myth of all, that being hard on ourselves is what motivates us. Nope. All that does is motivate fear.
Okay, enough theory. Let's get practical. If confidence is a practice, what are the daily reps? How do we actually do this? This is where we turn all these ideas into real actions you can literally start using the second this is over.
This simple 3-step process is a game changer. Step 1. Just start noticing what situations trigger that inner critic. A meeting at work, a social gathering, just identify them. Step 2. Become aware of the exact thought that pops into your head. Don't fight it, just observe it. And step 3, challenge it. Ask yourself a really simple question. Is this thought 100% fact, or is this just a feeling, an old story I keep telling myself? Here's another really powerful tool. Start actively looking for proof that you're competent. Confidence is all about momentum. So when you finish something, even something tiny, take 1 second to pause and acknowledge it. Give yourself credit. You're training your brain to see you as a capable person.
I love this quote. Man, I really do, because it gets to the absolute heart of it all. Building confidence isn't about never making a mistake again. It's about rebuilding trust in your own ability to make a call. It's about taking action and trusting that you're strong enough to handle whatever comes next. So let's bring this all home. Your confidence was never gone for good. It wasn't lost. It was just unpracticed. By swapping out those quiet, destructive habits, the self-criticism, the perfectionism, the avoidance, and replacing them with active habits of self-compassion and courage, you can absolutely rebuild it, one small choice at a time.
See, confidence is really just built by keeping promises you make to yourself. So I'll leave you with this one question. What's one small promise you can make and keep for yourself today? It doesn't have to be massive. Maybe it's just going for that 10-minute walk. Maybe it's saying thank you instead of I'm sorry. What's one small way you can start practicing confidence right now?